Welcome to another episode of the Solo Inter podcast. This is Maniche here, and it's I'll be reviewing quickly the Lazio Inter game. Yes, I'm doing it alone because it was a tough week both for all Inter fans basically, and yes, I'm held with the responsibility of covering this topic today. Jokes aside, I think it was really a tough week for Inter fans, starting with the Champions League draw and the Champions League draw you couldn't predict or couldn't expect a worse draw ever. And I think this has been one of the toughest draws ever I've seen Inter play in. So yeah, so I know it's too early to call this, but I seriously doubt we might qualify out of the group stage, which I think would be a blessing in disguise because if you're out of the group early and we can focus solely on the league. And I think right now the league is a priority. We're supposed to win last season, but we just lost in our last day or something. And Milan deserved the title towards the end because they had this unbeaten run. But taking nothing away, I think it's going to be, these matches are going to be really fun. And always, I think we wanted Inter to be part of, what do you call for it, a Super League, European Super League, or whatever they say. And I think now seems the best time, yeah, because it seems like a Super League matches now, where we're going to face Barcelona, Bayern Munich, home and away, and then Inter. So yeah, it's a good glimpse of maybe what the future holds. You never know. Yeah, so that was again very disheartening for a lot of fans, and followed by 24 hours later the match against Lazio. Yes, to start with, I think Lazio clearly deserved the match. They had a brilliant performance, and Sarri and style football, Sarri ball completely blew Inter away, and Inter were beaten black and blue. And I think this was one of the worst matches of Simeone Inzaghi. Started with his choices, the choices of choosing Roberto Gagliardini. I don't know why would he do such a foolish move. Okay, it might be to counter SMS. SMS is a very physical player, but nonetheless, you saw SMS quality seep through. Nonetheless, I think Gagliardini had put him initially quite a bit trouble. I mean, try to irritate SMS quite a bit, but and SMS had one of the most brilliant matches as usual. And Gagliardini didn't have a decent performance at all. Each time going forward, he was a liability. He misplaced passes. He just couldn't shoot. And a lot of defensive actions, whenever he started, it completely fucked it up, to say. So yeah, I'm really quite disappointed with the choice of choosing Gagliardini. And I think overall, we had the players, everyone had a bad game. Lautaro Martinez and Dumfries had a decent match, I would say. Nothing great. I wouldn't say one of the best. But Dumfries clearly, first half, he had a poor game. He should have crossed the ball a couple of times much earlier because he had the better of the guy. And we have 3 or 4 players in the box. We had Lukaku, we had Lautaro Martinez, we had Gagliardini, and Dumfries just need to get this courage, get this grinta, and just put in those balls, irrespective of does it land to the player or not, because if in case he crosses too far away, it goes to Di Marco, who can again reshuffle the ball. But he should have taken those crosses because each time he got in those promising positions, he passed it back to Barella, and Barella again shuffled it back to the keeper. So we lost a lot of momentum there. And and I think the first goal was clearly Di Marco's fault. And how many times you have seen Perisic saved our asses? Perisic as a left wing back, he would completely dominate the left flank. He would run up and down. And so many times the last minute interventions by Perisic, we actually missed that, because we downplay his contribution to us last season. He was one of the best performers. And that was clearly a Perisic game, Perisic, which clearly handled that. Di Marco seemed caught up in his breath. I think he ran quite a bit and he had no stamina coming and covering back. And he completely left off Felipe Anderson. I don't think ever I've seen Felipe Anderson score a headed goal, to my surprise. And yeah, what a ball by SMS nonetheless. And yes, tactically, we seemed always 2 steps behind. Sarri had a brilliant game. His plan worked out. Also with a player like Vecino in their team, can you imagine? It's like, even though Vecino was there in their team, I don't think it made a difference because he didn't do much. Yet Lazio, the players they had, and substitutions. Inzaghi got this game wrong in two places. One, the team selection, and second was substitution. And when the game was 1-1, I think Dumfries had a chance to go 2-1 up. His headed goal, bouncing header, the keeper stopped it well. But after that, I don't know what happened to Simeone Inzaghi. He just clearly he removed off. He removed triple substitution. He removed Lukaku off. He removed Dumfries off and Dimarco. Dimarco, yes, it was a good decision to remove off. But Dumfries and Lukaku, and quite early in the game. After that, the momentum completely shifted to Lazio's side, Lazio's favor. And we saw two goals as well, Lazio. I think Luis Alberto, he was left ample of space. I think Barella didn't close him down. Took his own time, took a sweet volley, sweet shot, and I think slightly clipped off Barella's leg or heels. I'm not sure. But there's no way Handanovic is stopping that. So yeah, and the second goal, third goal of Lazio was Pedro's individual goal. Yes, I think overall as a team, I think even Skriniar had a very bad performance. I think Skriniar seems to be a bit lost, maybe because of this contract talks. And I think quite late in the game, you saw that Immobile was taking on Skriniar 101 and Skriniar completely lost. And Handanovic did a decent stop. But yeah, I never seen Skriniar so lost ever. And yes, I hope the contract comes in quickly and he signs it off and his mind is left to focus on the game, irrespective of his future. So yeah, to sum it up again, I think the worst performers for the team were Dimarco and Lukaku. Dimarco had again second consecutive game where he seems to be off pace and he seems to be good against those mid-table sides, but not against quality opposition. And today you could see his contribution was practically nothing, and so was Lukaku. Lukaku was completely. I don't believe I'm saying this, but Roman Gurley had a better match. He completely neutralized Lukaku. So yeah, I hope we put heads down, focus on the game. I know still early in the season, and Roma and Napoli can go with 3 victories, but it's better late than never. It was better losing today than losing the Milan derby, I feel. And yes, Simeone Inzaghi, I hope it goes back to the drawing board and decides where things went wrong, which players went wrong, and which players are not seem to be fit. You cannot push them in lineup. For example, Dimarco, he seemed clueless. So I think it's the right time to unleash Goossens, give Goossens, because we know Goossens what type of quality player is. He just needs a run of 3 or 4 games, and then I'm sure he'll get back strong. So yeah, I had no man of the match, nothing. I think the only performers good were, like mentioned, it was Dumfries and Lautaro. The rest, the entire team was below par. And yes, that's all my review for the Lazio game. I think the next game is against Cremonese, where we should take 3 points, and then the big game, the Milan derby. I think before that, we might be playing Bayern Munich at home at San Siro. So yes, couple of big matches coming in. With the performance today, I hope the players sit back and decide and see what happened, what went wrong, and collectively as a team, we work on to the next game. Yes, I'm not really upset actually for this match because I think Lazio clearly outclassed us, outplayed us, the formation-wise, player-wise, and it's nothing to be sad. I would have been more hurt if Inter played really well and then lost, but I don't think we performed well at all, and it was a well-deserved victory for Lazio. But yeah, the season is still young, and matches will keep coming, and let's hope Lukaku and gets his form back because we need him for the Champions League. Once again, this is Maniche, guys. See you for the next preview of the match against Cremonese. Before I end this episode, I want all the Inter fans and who are listening to the podcast to please like the channel, subscribe to this channel, and leave me your comments. Who you thought was the flop of the match? And for me personally, I think Inzaghi is one of the worst performances managing an Inter game. Do you agree with that? If not, you have any other matches which you thought Inzaghi had the worst performance, please leave in the comments. Also, who you thought was the best performers for this game. And most importantly, what changes you would like to see in the next game. Please leave your comments. I will try to personally reply them myself, or we'll take it to the next episode in the Solo Inter podcast. Thanks again. Once again, please like and follow this Solo Inter podcast on YouTube. Cheers, guys. Have a great weekend for the next match. I'm sure Inter will bounce back. Forza Inter, guys.